You've heard the term house hacking before, but you're not exactly sure what that means. And maybe you want to learn a little bit more about it and how it can be such an unfair advantage in northern New Jersey. Well, this is the perfect video for you. Today we're going to be going over what is house hacking and why it is the unfair advantage that lives up to the testament of time in northern New Jersey. My name is Shawn McEnteer. I am the house hacking realtor and team leader of the Living in North Jersey real estate team. I've been house hacking with my wife and kids for many years, going on over a decade. And we're at a level of financial freedom where we now help new investors enter the market and reduce and eliminate the failure rate of those new investors coming in. So videos like this and future videos that are created are around everything happening in northern New Jersey with a house hacker's touch. Make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss a beat of what's happening in the Garden State. What is house hacking? Plain and simple, it's when you live in a property and the tenants pay some or the bulk or maybe all of the mortgage in the property that you're living in. This includes single family houses, duplexes, triplexes, and quads. Single family house hacks tend to work with a rent by room strategy or renting out a basement or another space while you occupy a portion of the property. For example, if you're in, let's say, a ranch style home, you might occupy the upper area, but you rent out a room in the basement that can pay some of the mortgage from your tenants. More common in northern New Jersey is a duplex, triplex, or quad. And that's where you live in one unit and rent out the other units. An example would be you have a side-by-side duplex. You live on one side and your tenants rent out the other side. In all scenarios, the tenants are paying a portion of the mortgage via rent. So whether they're paying all of it, some of it, or just a little bit of it, it's still considered house hacking because at the end of the day, your goal here is to not pay the mortgage entirely yourself. You want to have tenants in place to pay the bulk of the mortgage. Quick story of how powerful house hacking can be. My wife and I knew we wanted to invest, did not know how to invest when we bought our very first property, and it happened to be a single family home, which was a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. This property was kind of far from New York City, much further west than let's say other towns. We ended up getting a relationship with other investors and finding different strategies, and all of a sudden we found out, wow, a multifamily would make a lot more sense for doing what we wanted to do. Long story short, I did not want to pay a mortgage out of my paycheck myself for the rest of my life, so we ended up selling this property, moving back in with my parents, and then moving into a duplex. What was so crazy about this duplex is it was substantially closer to New York City, and it was much larger of a property. That single family that we originally purchased, we were paying about $2,200 a month, my wife and I, and it was all from the money that we earned working. This new duplex that we purchased was about $3,500 a month we were paying in mortgage. Probably thinking, wow, that's a lot. It is a major increase, and it was for us. But this is where the magic of house hacking took over. The tenants on the upper level were paying the bulk of that mortgage. They were paying around $2,800 per month. So we ended up paying about $700 out of pocket to live in a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. So we had an extra bedroom and an extra half bath on top of it. So a larger living space in a town much closer to New York City and much closer, more desirable for our working conditions and everything that we're doing. Larger space and all. So we were paying less out of pocket to get more, which was amazing. House hacking was able to magnify this. Would not have happened if we were doing it any other way. So the beauty of house hacking is it's such an unfair advantage, especially in northern New Jersey. In today's video, I'm going to be going over some more reasons why it's such an unfair advantage. So definitely want to stick around to the end on this one because everything that I'm going to be announcing and sharing with you, it's pretty special, and I want to make sure you get the benefit from it as well. Something I cannot stand about northern New Jersey is the taxes. We are notorious for having high taxes. Well, guess what? We don't just have high taxes, we also have high rents. And that's good for house hackers because high rents mean that someone's gonna be paying pretty decent amount of money, especially compared to the national averages to live in your unit. they're going to cover the taxes and potentially the bulk of the mortgage. So what's great about our market is that we might have the high taxes and they stink if you live in a single family and you're paying all of it yourself. But if you have tenants that are compensating those taxes, it's not so bad. On top of this, high rental demands sees rental increases very consistently in northern New Jersey. Taxes are always going up, but rent goes up higher. So what you're keeping up with the pace here in our state. You might be getting those high taxes, but yeah, you're getting really, really high rents, which is great. House hacking in northern New Jersey is such an unfair advantage. One of the reasons behind this is appreciation. You get appreciation on the rental himself, meaning the rents go up, all that kind of stuff, which is amazing, absolutely love it. But the appreciation you get of the property, meaning the equity that you're given, is absolutely life-changing, especially if you're open-minded to renovating. So you're gonna get that natural appreciation in the Garden State because we're in such a high demand market, but you're also gonna force that appreciation if you're open to renovating. If you wanna learn a little bit more about that, why don't you comment below cash cow, and I'll send you a really cool video on what a cash cow looks like in northern New Jersey, especially if you wanna house hack. Why house hacking is an unfair advantage? Well, plain and simple, the tax advantages you're gonna get. You get all the tax advantages of owning real estate, but then you get the tax advantages of having tenants and all the write-offs and everything that come with that. So, you know, owning real estate is really great. If you own a primary house, you'll see on your taxes, it really does do a number, but having a rental property on top of that really allows you to do different things with the IRS that are very favorable for you. So you always want to speak with an accountant for sure, but at the end of the day, the tax advantages of house hacking are really cool and definitely something you're gonna wanna benefit from. Now look, New Jersey gets a bad reputation for being not so landlord friendly, but guess what? That gets turned upside down when you're house hacking. And the reason for this is rental laws for owner occupants are extremely favorable in New Jersey. And not a lot of people talk about this. So you're gonna be given a little bit more grace being that you're an owner occupant in the property. New Jersey allows you as the owner occupant to essentially remove tenants, especially if they're not the best ones in the world. They're always gonna favor a owner occupant owner. So you get to say who lives in the property. Now look, if there's a lease in place, you're always gonna have to honor that lease. But at the end of the day, if you're hearing some of these horror stories, they're not so bad when you are dealing with house hackers that are owner occupying, because the state is very favorable in that capacity. Really quick, I'm getting phone calls, texts, emails every single day from house hackers and people looking to buy and sell in North Jersey. If you're on that list and you want to have a call with me, check out the link below and I'm gonna have my Calendly in there. Book a call, more than happy to hop on and chat a little bit about house hacking and everything else you need to know about real estate in northern New Jersey. Why is house hacking such an unfair advantage? Plain and simple, you're always gonna need a place to live. Rent keeps going up. Parents' basement is not the best place. So what are the solutions here? To live in one unit, rent out the other, let the tenants pay the bulk of the mortgage while you still have the asset. If you live in that single family house, you have to pay 100% yourself of that mortgage unless you have roommates in there and you're house hacking. So to have a solution where you can now have someone paying a good portion of your mortgage, you get to live in the asset, things keep appreciating, rents keep going up. It's really a win-win situation that compounds over time. To be the first to know about more house hacking and to make sure that you understand what house hacking is going on, you gotta make sure you click subscribe and especially check out my video on 3 things to avoid for house hackers, because that's something that's really gonna help you out so you can now move on to that first house hack successfully. I'm gonna put that in the description below as well. And remember, if that time comes where you must buy that single family and you want to have your house hacks paying the bulk of your mortgage in the single family that you're living in, I do plenty of content on towns throughout northern New Jersey, so you know where to make that next move smooth for you and you can understand about what's happening in what towns in the Garden State.